From the hills of Kentucky to the heights of musical stardom, Ricky Skaggs has blazed a trail through the worlds of bluegrass and country music. A prodigy, innovator, and preservationist, his story is one of passion, tradition, and the power of music. Ricky was born on July 18, 1954, in the tiny Appalachian town of Cordell, Kentucky. Nestled along the Big Sandy River near the West Virginia border, it was the kind of place where music filled the air and brought people together. Ricky's parents, Dorothy and Hobart Skaggs, were passionate music lovers, especially bluegrass. They were huge fans of Bill Monroe, Flatt and Scruggs, and the Stanley Brothers. It didn't take long for Ricky to show that music wasn't just a family hobby, it was his calling. When he was just 3 years old, his dad noticed him harmonizing with his mom from across the house while playing with his toys. By age 4, Ricky was singing harmony at church and family gatherings. And by 5, his dad handed him a mandolin and taught him a few basic chords. That's all Ricky needed. 2 weeks later, he taught himself chord progressions and was singing and playing like a pro. At the remarkably young age of 5, Ricky Skaggs made his first significant public performance, sharing the stage with the father of bluegrass, Bill Monroe. This happened in 1959 at a Bluegrass Boys performance in Martha, Kentucky. Skaggs was brought up on stage by Monroe during one of his performances. Bill Monroe, known for his discerning taste in music and talent, recognized Skaggs' innate ability and invited him to play a tune. Skaggs performed Ruby, a song often associated with Monroe, showcasing his early mastery of the instrument. In 2018, when Ricky was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, this story was recounted and a special presentation occurred.
Ricky, you're the embodiment of country's unbroken circle. You have carried forward the music that was passed down to you, and you have honored those who have placed faith in you. When you were 6 years old, Bill Monroe placed his mandolin in your hands. The mandolin was made by Lloyd Lohr and signed by him on July 9, 1923, 4 years before Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family were discovered at the Bristol session. Its body is scratched and scarred. Its soul is boundless. It was once destroyed, smashed into 150 pieces, but Charlie Darrington at Gibson pieced it back together, resurrecting it. It rests behind glass in this museum so that millions of people may learn about it and learn about Bill Monroe, the man who made it famous. But Mr. Monroe would want to hear it ring out tonight as his musical son receives country music's highest honor. Take it, make it sing, whip it like a mule on this night of communion and celebration as we cheer you, Dottie West, and Johnny Gimble as the newest members of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Take it away.
I was standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I saw the hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Will the circle be unbroken? By and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Lord, I told them.
Bill Monroe's 1923 Gibson F5 mandolin was smashed with a fire poker in 1985 by vandals who entered his home on his farm. The mandolin was shattered into over 200 pieces, including a smashed top and major cracks in the back and headstock. Monroe was devastated by the loss and turned to Charlie Darrington, head of mandolin production at Gibson, for help. Darrington spent months painstakingly reassembling and repairing the mandolin, gluing pieces back in place that were no larger than a toothpick. Monroe was able to play the mandolin again after the restoration. The early performance with Bill Monroe was a rite of passage in the bluegrass community, marking Skaggs as a prodigy. The encounter with Monroe was pivotal. It not only boosted Skaggs' confidence, but also set his path toward a career deeply rooted in bluegrass music. When he was 7, Ricky Skaggs' family packed up and moved to Nashville, Tennessee, so he could grow up in the heart of country and bluegrass music. That same year, Ricky made his professional debut playing mandolin with Flatt & Scruggs on their TV show, earning a cool $52.50, which must have felt like a fortune to a kid. Ricky Skaggs and Keith Whitley forged a close friendship during their teenage years, which profoundly influenced their careers in bluegrass and country music.
Ricky and I met at a little contest about 30 or 40 miles from our hometown in Ezell, Kentucky. We were about 14 or 15 at the time, and I was in a band, and Ricky was in a fiddle contest with his father. And we struck up a friendship, and within a couple of months we're playing together.
The two formed a band, the East Kentucky Mountain Boys, playing covers of bluegrass hits by the Clinch Mountain Boys. In their own words, here is how Ralph Stanley met Ricky and Keith.
One summer night in 1970, Keith Whitley and myself went to see Ralph Stanley.
I'd had a flat on the camper, and I was about an hour late to getting to the show.
And so the owner of the club asked if me and Keith would get up and sing some. Well, my dad would never let us go anywhere while we didn't take our instruments with us, just in case we might need to play somewhere.
When I got to the place and went up to the door, I heard some music inside in the building there. And I thought they were playing Stanley Brother records.
Ralph come walking in, and I was stunned, because here was my hero, my teacher that I had learned from all these years.
And it was Ricky Skaggs and Keith Whitley, and they was doing a fine job, and it really shocked me, and I just sat down, and I didn't know what to do. You know, they sounded so much like Stanley Brothers.
It must have brought back a lot of memories of he and his brother Carter when they first started, when they were teenagers.
They started working with me, and Ricky stayed with me, I guess, around 3 years. And then Keith Whitley stayed with me. He was my lead singer for around 6 or 7 years.
That started our relationship right there with Ralph Stanley.
During their time with Stanley, Whitley and Skaggs not only sharpened their musical skills, but also developed a deep personal connection, often sharing living quarters during tours. They recorded together on albums like Second Generation Bluegrass, demonstrating their vocal and instrumental synergy. After leaving Stanley's band, they continued to collaborate, with Skaggs contributing to Whitley's recordings even as their careers took different directions. Skaggs exploring mainstream country before returning to bluegrass, while Whitley pursued a successful country music path. Ricky Skaggs was deeply affected by Keith Whitley's tragic death due to alcohol poisoning in 1989, having lost not only a musical collaborator, but a lifelong friend. Skaggs served as a pallbearer and eulogist at Whitley's funeral and has honored his memory through performances and tributes.
I'm here for my great friend Keith Whitley, that he and I was childhood pals. We met when we were 15 years old, and I won the Pioneer Award last year, the Cliffy Stone Award, and we're giving that to Keith Whitley and his memory, his legacy tonight.
Ricky also contributed to Keith's posthumous album, Kentucky Bluebird. Their relationship stands as a testament to a deep, enduring bond where music, friendship, and shared influence left an indelible mark on American music. While playing with the Clinch Mountain Boys at only 17, Ricky met the woman who later became his first wife, Brenda Stanley, a cousin of Ralph Stanley. They married in the early 70s and had 2 children, Mandy and Andrew. They later divorced, and Ricky married his current wife, Sharon White of the musical trio The Whites in 1981. Ricky spent the early 70s honing his craft with the Clinch Mountain Boys, recording an album with Whitley, and later playing with bluegrass groups like the Country Gentlemen. After his stint with the Gentlemen, Ricky joined J.D. Crowe and New South. This band was revolutionary for its time, blending traditional bluegrass with more contemporary influences, which helped pave the way for the new grass movement. During his time with New South, Skaggs contributed significantly with his skilled mandolin playing and distinctive vocals, which you can hear on seminal recordings like their 1975 self-titled album. This period was marked by collaborations with other future bluegrass legends like Tony Rice on guitar and Jerry Douglas on dobro, creating a lineup that's often cited as one of the most influential in bluegrass music. Their rendition of songs like You Can Have Her and Old Home Place not only showcased Skaggs' talents, but also helped define the sound of progressive bluegrass. This collaboration was pivotal for Skaggs, setting the foundation for his later solo career, where he would further blend bluegrass with country music. His buddy Keith Whitley began singing vocals with J.D. Crowe in 1977, after Ricky had left the group to form his own band, Boone Creek, with artists including Vince Gill and Jerry Douglas. Starting in 1979, Ricky Skaggs and Emmylou Harris began to contribute to country and bluegrass music through their significant collaboration. Skaggs joined Harris's group, the Hot Band, where his skills on the fiddle and mandolin, along with his vocal harmonies, were integral to shaping the band's sound. His contributions were particularly notable on albums like Quarter Moon in a 10-Cent Town, 1978, and Blue Kentucky Girl, 1979, where his musical skills not only enhanced the music, but also helped define the era's country rock genre. Skaggs' stint with Harris was a stepping stone to his solo career, influencing his approach to merging bluegrass with country elements. Even after departing the Hot Band in 1980, their professional paths continued to intersect, with occasional reunions for special performances that showcased their enduring musical chemistry. Their collaborative work has been lauded in the music industry, earning them numerous accolades and cementing their legacy in the evolution of country music during the late 70s and early 80s. In 1980, Ricky Skaggs launched his solo career with the album Sweet Temptations on Sugar Hill Records. This was Skaggs' second album overall, but his first as a solo artist after gaining experience with some of the biggest names in bluegrass and country music. Recorded in 1979, Sweet Temptations was a blend of country and bluegrass, showcasing Skaggs' versatility. The album featured backing vocals from Emmylou Harris, adding a layer of familiarity and respect from the music community. The sound of Sweet Temptations was influenced by the progressive bluegrass scene of the time, with tracks like I'll Take the Blame reflecting traditional elements while also pushing boundaries. This album served as a pivotal moment for Skaggs, offering a taste of what would become his signature style in the years to follow. Although not a commercial blockbuster, Sweet Temptations received positive reviews for its musical versatility and Skaggs' vocal prowess, setting the stage for his subsequent success in both bluegrass and country genres. Ricky Skaggs was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry on June 19, 1982, when he was just 28 years old, making him one of the youngest to join the Opry. The legendary Ernest Tubb, known as the Texas Troubadour, did the honors during a live show. By that time, Skaggs was already making a big splash in country music with hits like Crying My Heart Out Over You and I Don't Care, blending traditional vibes with a modern twist. Getting into the Opry was a huge achievement for Skaggs, making his quick jump from being a bluegrass whiz kid to a country music star. It wasn't just about his songs, it was about his dedication to keeping country music real, which the Opry is all about. His induction showed how he could respect the old school while also pushing the style forward. Since then, Skaggs has been a regular at the Opry, not just performing but also helping to keep its legacy alive by bringing in new talent, as when he invited Stephen Curtis Chapman in 2024. Through the 80s and most of the 90s, Ricky kept his focus on country music and became a notable figure in the new traditionalist movement. In 1995, he released Solid Ground, which was less successful commercially, but marked a shift towards more traditional country sounds. In 1996, Ricky Skaggs made a pivotal decision to leave mainstream country music and return to his roots in bluegrass, a move influenced by both personal and professional reasons. As the 90s rolled in, the country music scene was shifting towards a more pop-influenced sound, which contrasted with Skaggs' love for traditional music. The slick production and large-scale tours of modern country didn't resonate with him. He yearned for the authenticity and community that bluegrass offered. Another significant factor was a promise Skaggs made to Bill Monroe, the father of bluegrass music, before Monroe's death in 1996. Skaggs committed to keeping Monroe's musical legacy alive, a promise that weighed heavily on his heart. This personal vow was not just about continuing to play the music, but doing so in a way that honored its roots. His return to bluegrass was also a return to the music that had first captivated him as a child, playing alongside legends like Monroe and Ralph Stanley. By returning to bluegrass, Skaggs could focus on what he loved most: the music, intricate harmonies, the storytelling, and the instrumental virtuosity. He formed Kentucky Thunder, a band known for its fast-paced, technically brilliant performances, which became a beacon for traditional bluegrass. This shift not only allowed Skaggs to reconnect with his musical heritage, but also revitalized the bluegrass scene. His album, Bluegrass Rules, in 1997, was a commercial and critical success, winning a Grammy and setting the stage for a series of successful bluegrass albums that followed. Ricky founded Skaggs Family Records in 1997 as a means to solidify his return to his bluegrass roots. He created the label to give him more control over his music production and promotion, with a focus on bluegrass and traditional sounds. It has also served as a platform for other bluegrass artists, including the Del McCoury Band, Blue Highway, The Whites, Mountain Heart, Cherry Holmes, and Cadillac Sky. Initially distributed through Rounder Records, Skaggs Family Records maintains a commitment to quality, authenticity, and the preservation of bluegrass music. The new millennium kicked off with Skaggs winning a Grammy for Soldier of the Cross in the Best Southern, Country, or Bluegrass Gospel Album category. His focus on bluegrass was further highlighted with albums like Big Mon, The Songs of Bill Monroe in 2000, celebrating the music of his mentor, which later saw a re-release under a new title. Throughout the 2000s, Skaggs and his band, Kentucky Thunder, dominated the bluegrass scene, earning multiple Grammy Awards for albums such as Brand New Strings in 2005 and Instrumentals in 2006. His prowess as a band leader was recognized with several International Bluegrass Music Association awards for Instrumental Group of the Year. Ricky had several notable collaborations during the early years of this century. In 2000, he demonstrated his musical versatility by sharing the stage with Fish at a bluegrass event. The performance was a unique intersection of genres, where Skaggs' traditional bluegrass style met Fish's renowned improvisational rock. The event showcased Skaggs' ability to adapt to different musical contexts, blending bluegrass with the jam band's extended musical explorations, highlighting his skill on the mandolin and his deep roots in bluegrass, while engaging with a broader musical audience. In 2007, Ricky Skaggs teamed up with the acclaimed musician Bruce Hornsby to create the album Ricky Skaggs and Bruce Hornsby. This collaboration was a fascinating blend of genres, combining Skaggs' deep-rooted bluegrass tradition with Hornsby's innovative piano-driven rock and jazz influences. The album was a testament to both artists' willingness to step outside their comfort zones, creating a musical dialogue that was both fresh and respectful of their respective musical heritages. Tracks like The Way It Is and Mandolin Cloud showcase their ability to weave together bluegrass instrumentation with complex piano melodies, offering listeners a unique listening experience. The album not only highlighted Skaggs' versatility, but also Hornsby's appreciation and understanding of bluegrass music. Their collaboration was praised for its creativity and execution, earning them a Grammy nomination for Best Country Collaboration with Vocals, and it stands as a bridge between different musical worlds, proving that great music knows no genre boundaries. The 2010s saw Skaggs being inducted to various halls of fame, including the Musicians Hall of Fame in 2016, and both the International Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2018. And in 2021, he was awarded the National Medal of Arts. After years of anticipation, this period also included the release of Hearts Like Ours, a duets album with his wife Sharon White. To this day, Skaggs maintains an active touring schedule, bringing his music to fans worldwide. Ricky had a severe health scare in 2020 when he underwent quadruple bypass heart surgery in June at Centennial Medical Center in Nashville. He had been experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath and tightness in his chest for over 6 months before surgery. After a routine checkup and subsequent CT scan of his heart, doctors recommended an angiogram, which Skaggs initially considered delaying, but decided against it due to a feeling of divine intervention. Following the surgery, Skaggs reported feeling significantly better, describing his recovery as making him feel 150% better than before. His heart surgeon shared an emotional account of the surgery, where he had Skaggs' heart in his hands and felt it leap with the return of blood flow. Skaggs attributed his health scare and recovery to blessings and the grace of God, emphasizing the importance of not delaying medical procedures when signs of health issues appear. Ricky Skaggs has spent a lifetime shaping the sound and spirit of bluegrass and country music, leaving an indelible mark on both. His passion for honoring tradition while embracing innovation has earned him countless awards and the admiration of fans worldwide. Whether through his iconic mandolin playing, heartfelt vocals, or dedication to mentoring up-and-coming artists, Skaggs has kept the heart of bluegrass beating strong. As he continues to share his music and wisdom, his influence serves as a reminder that these beloved genres are alive and well, and thriving thanks to his enduring artistry and commitment.